All right, we have two special guests who have joined us here today as we continue with our media availabilities. We've been joined by Kyle Busch and Kyle Petty. Thank you both for joining us. We're going to roll a quick video, and then we will turn it over to them on the stage. Go ahead. All right, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Kyle. Kyle, do you mind to give us a little bit of a kind of description of Dinner Drive? And this is your third season doing it.
Third season of Dinner Drive on Circle Network, and as you can see, it's presented by Cheddar's Scratch Kitchen this year. We're really excited about that. Really excited to have Kyle as our first guest. Was not so excited that he left me at the Cheddar's restaurant because the race car only had one seat, so I didn't appreciate that. But great episode. Great stories about the pickup. The pickup he and his father built. That's part of the show, is a sentimental car, a pickup that he and his father built. And the engine story about how it came out of the Suburban. That was cool. We talk about Brexton, talk about Bundles of Joy, the foundation, and Kyle opens up honestly about a lot of stuff. So it was really, really good. I got to see it, the final cut yesterday. Really enjoyed it. So thank you for doing that. And yeah, I hope everybody tunes in. The premiere is the 29th of June, which is a Thursday, next Thursday. Yeah. So at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. So thank you guys for allowing me to be Kyle Busch's shadow today. And come here, this is Kyle and Kyle show right here. So we had a lot of fun, but thank you for doing it, and thank you for being our first guest this year.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it was a really good experience, kind of cool. You know, I've seen a couple of light episodes, just a little bit of cuts from previous shows that Kyle was doing, and you know, really thankful for the opportunity. Brought to you by Cheddar's Scratch Kitchen for this year. Myself being on there, and like Kyle said, I left him there at the end when I was able to drive my race car back home. So may or may not have driven it back home. But all in all, just yeah, tune in. We just want to tell everybody all about it and kind of hype it up a little bit. A lot of fun, a lot of stories that kind of come out. Stuff about last year, you know, stuff about the past and Brexton and all the things that have kind of gotten me to this point. So Kyle had a lot of great questions. I fed him a lot of great food from Cheddar's.
Yes.
And we definitely did not go home hungry.
Yep, and just remember, when Kyle Busch wins the race here this weekend, the number 8 special is free, right?
On the following Monday,
the following Monday, the number 8 special is free at Cheddar's, so just remember that this coming Monday before. Take it home, save it till Thursday, watch the premiere, eat the number 8 special. That's it.
You could do that. Yeah.
All right, as they said, it's the Kyle and Kyle show here on the stage. We'll go ahead and open for questions. If you have a question for Kyle Busch or Kyle Petty, we'll go ahead and get a mic to you. Friendly reminder, this will serve as Kyle Busch's bullpen commitment. So, all right, we'll start with Steven and go to Jordan and then Mark.
Steven Toronto, CBS Sports. This will be a question for Kyle Petty. Could you just talk a little bit about performing at the Grand Ole Opry the other night? I know that you've performed there before, and obviously your musical career goes back a long ways, but just discuss what it was like to be back there again, back performing.
So this is what I'll say, and I know Kyle can relate to this. There's certain racetracks you go to that when you roll into those racetracks, you feel the history of the place. Whether it be Darlington, whether it be Daytona, whether it be Indianapolis, when we go there, you feel the ghost of the drivers that have been there before and have won races, and the greatness that means. And that's the way the Opry is for me. And if you love music, any kind of music, it doesn't make any difference. When you walk out on that stage and you stand in that circle in the middle of that stage, and you know that's where Patsy Cline stood and Johnny Cash stood, and so many greats that have come, Little Jimmy Dickens, so many great musical artists have stood there and sang at that center, at that circle. It's a very humbling, very special experience, and I think you feel that. You feel that if you love music, any kind of music, but to have that opportunity to stand there on that stage is something that is incredibly emotional and incredibly special for me.
Yeah. And you mentioned all those great artists. I know that you had a particular admiration and a particular closeness with Marty Robbins, who raced in the Cup.
So, and I've told this story, and Woody knows this. Marty used to race over at the fairgrounds and stuff, and when we would race at the fairgrounds, a lot of times, Marty would come out and he would take my dad and Bobby Allison and Cale and some of those guys, and you'd go to the Ryman Auditorium and stand off to the side of the stage there with the big fans because the place had no air condition. And it was really cool to be 10, 11, 12 years old and to stand with my dad and those guys and see Minnie Pearl and Grandpa Jones and all those guys, because that's the people that were there then. Roy Acuff, that's the people that were there then. So there's a lot of history for my family to go and stand off stage. It was really special for me to be able to go and stand on stage.
Gotcha. Thank you, Kyle.
All right, we're going to go to Jordan.
Jordan Bianchi, The Athletic. This question's for Kyle Busch. Have you started any preparation or anything for the Chicago Street Course race, whether it's sim or going over anything with team or anything?
Yeah.
And, well, what's your
Great answer. Great answer.
Hey, listen, some people have said no, so I got to start with that. But that you have, what is your impressions of the circuit, and what are your takeaways?
It's really rough. It's bumpy. It's slippery. There's some corners that are very challenging, some blind ones at that. When you come out of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the bean. I think we're going around the bean, right? On the left-hander. That's really, really slippery, really, really slick, and there's a huge bump going through 9 before you get into 10. So, the wall in 8 before you go around the left-hander is, to me, it's really narrow over there. I mean, you're barely trying to miss your right front getting ripped off on the right side and not bouncing off of that and killing your car on the left side. So, there could be more room given over there, I feel like. That's probably a really tight spot that could use a little bit of help just based off of what the sim is telling us. But other than that, I mean, it's going to be a tight street course. It's what tight street courses are.
And so kind of following up on that, what do you think the race is going to be like?
Survival. It's going to be a survival race. I feel like we had a couple of those. I can't remember the last one that we had where it was, I want to say it's turn 1 of, Indy, yeah. It's turn 1 of Indy every corner. So, I mean, literally, yeah. I mean, if you start 20th, you might as well not even accelerate to get to turn 1, because it's probably going to look like the Roval restart that we had where we all went off into the barrier in turn 1, you know what I mean? So, it's survival. Yeah.
All right, our next question is going to be Mark in the back.
I have one for each. Mark Arrow, PRN. I promoted a concert with Marty Stewart. Said you guys were roommates at one time here in Nashville.
Yeah, we were.
What was that like?
So I rented an apartment, and Marty moved in, and one night I came home about 11:30, 12 o'clock, and Marty was there, and Emmylou Harris was there, and they were just jamming, and everybody, there were a lot of people there. I'm not sure Marty ever paid rent. Let me go back and say that. But that was back in the early 80s, so that's a long time ago.
Kyle, when
Interest is high.
Yeah.
Kyle, a little bit of a follow-up on the Chicago street course, and a question that was asked to Chase Elliott. What will make a good event? I mean, does it need to be a spectacular finish? What will make it a successful race from a competitor standpoint? That you have a chance to win, you have a chance to pass? What's going to make a successful event?
I mean, to me, yeah, action, having a good race and story to tell about a street course. I looked at, the IndyCar race from Nashville the first year they did it. They had that big pile up and about blocked the track, things like that. It's not action that us drivers want to see, but, fans kind of sometimes enjoy calamity, and, that then turns into a social moment where they're like, hey, check this out, look at these idiots, you know what I mean? So, if we're those guys, then so be it, and that's kind of where it'll lay. But, I think it's a spectacle, right? I mean, it's something that I don't think NASCAR's ever done in a long, long time. The Cup Series, if ever, I'm not sure. I know the Southwest Tour ran the streets of LA long, long time ago, 1998. I actually spotted for my brother there. So, but this will be my first time ever racing on a street course, something of this nature.
All right, we're going to come up front to Bob.
Bob Parker's Fox Sports. Kyle Busch, another Chicago question. Haven't gotten much information on the mufflers. Have you heard anything about the mufflers that you're going to be using, and have they done anything as far as the heat compared to what you were feeling in LA?
I'm not sure. I can't say. I don't know. I know Jeff Burton was working on that for us, on trying to reduce some of the heat, the in-car heat. And we were all kind of talking about that because some guys kind of felt a little bit hot at the Coliseum. I felt fine at the Clash. I didn't even run my cool shirt, so I predict it's going to be warm. But wearing a cool shirt, you should be fine.
All right, we're going to go to Dustin.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports for Kyle Busch. Kyle, when you came to RCR this year, you easily could have said, I can't do certain things that you guys want me to do. I need it to do my way because I've been doing it so many years. I've had success. And quite frankly, they probably would have followed along with it. But they've talked about how you have bought all in and said, look, I'm going to do it your way. We're not going to meet halfway. I'm going to meet all the way with you. Again, that presents a challenge for an athlete in a lot of ways because now you're doing things and you're out of your comfort zone. How challenging was it? Why did you even do it like that? Obviously, you've had three wins. Maybe you would have done the same thing the other way, maybe not. But I just kind of think back to what your approach was at the start of the year and how much it's helping you now.
Yeah. So to me, yes, I came over to RCR wanting to buy in and just kind of understand and get into the Chevy system and be a part of the key partner deal and understand the Hendrick side, the Trackhouse side, the RCR side, but also the RCR team as well, the engineering department and everything that they have going on over there. The buy-in, yeah, I mean, Randall's a smart guy. We've got some really good people over there. I really enjoy working with Justin Alexander as well as Keith Rodden and all those guys are pretty sharp guys. Buying into their way and their system just kind of because that's how they've done it for so long was me getting an understanding and just being like, let's go to work. And then, but also, to just say too that I've brought a lot to the table as well from where I've been and some of the ways that I've done things before too. And we talk about that and we're intermixing a lot of that, whether it's 60-40 their way, my way, or vice versa, I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's whatever works. And so how we get through those things that work for them and then the things that I always bring up that I'm still pushing for. There's probably, I don't know how many items on my checklist, but at least 5 that are top priority that I'm really still, forking them with and trying to get them to accomplish the same things that I was used to being with the Toyota guys for so long.
That takes a longer process?
It's a longer process. It takes a longer time. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call it short-staffed. There's plenty of people around, but it's just trying to get those people have jobs, right? Like I'm asking for engineering things. I'm asking for data sheets and things like that come. And so it's just not coming either A, as fast as it should, or B, at all some weekends. And so, really just trying to be like, look, guys, this is important. This stuff can help, and it'll give us a good basis of what we need to work on overnight going into the race, and we're just not getting that right now. So I think that is going to be an overall help for the whole Chevy team on being able to get some of that.
All right, we're going to go Lee and then Kelly.
Lee Spencer, catchfence.com. Kyle, you tweeted, now it's hammered down until Phoenix when you got back from vacation. Do you have to put the binders on and just, go straight through the last 10 and then into the playoffs?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's no more off weeks. I think that's basically what it meant. We're going straight through from now to Phoenix, right? So, I guess there's 18 races left, so that means there's 8 and then the final 10. So we've got 8 weeks to prepare ourselves and get ready and build our program stronger and as good as we can for the start of the playoffs. And once we get to Darlington, it's going to be no miss. We've kind of been a little bit dirty to start, if you will. Like we haven't had clean races a lot. And then the last 3 or 4, we've had some pretty clean races respectively. And so keep that momentum going for the next 8 and, maybe tack on another win or 2 and, be perfect by the time playoffs come.
And Kyle, this is kind of an off question. I know you played in a lot of pro-ams in your day, and back in the day, your guys would go play golf to get away from the track, do something completely different. When you race, you're around lots of professionals. When you play golf, you're not the professional. You're kind of in their swimming pool. I know you play with Davis Love at Irish Creek, I believe. And when you play with those guys, does that elevate your game?
You talking to me?
Yes.
Holy crap. I was asleep up here. Nothing elevates my game. Okay? End of conversation. Okay? I can go play putt-putt with a 6-year-old, and that elevates my game at the putt-putt course.
Because you beat him?
No, because they beat me.
Right.
They beat me. I learned from them. I learned. So, yeah, nothing elevates my game. Nothing. Believe me.
All right, we're going to go to Kelly, then Claire. Go ahead, Kelly.
Claire's got it. Kelly's
Claire,
getting
that
it.
works.
Claire won't give it up.
Kelly Crandall, Racer.com. Kyle, going back to performance, as you and Randall look at this push now to the playoffs and then the playoffs, you had jokingly said after Sonoma, maybe you don't want an off weekend with the stretch of 4 top 10 finishes. Where is this team in terms of how you stack up? Or how close are you to a championship contending race team? I know you've said the short track package, you guys have some work to do there.
Yeah.
So how close are you to being a championship contender, you think?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the last 10 weeks of the schedule, I would say that we feel pretty confident about how we can go about those weeks and those races. The only one that you kind of circle right now that's a question mark, maybe 2, is obviously Bristol and Martinsville, with the short track package and us not being great with that. But the rest of the races I'm actually, looking forward to. I feel like there's an even slate there for us to be as good as we've been this year and go out there and score good, strong runs. So, championship caliber team, man, I would say our guys are super good at building some really good cars. We've had some really clean stuff. The job that each member on the team has been doing has been top notch. I get in the car, there's all my stuff's there. Like, you don't see any, like, the windshield tear offs are right, the blackout's good, like details. It comes down to the details. And so to me, from what I can tell, it's where we need to be. So praises to them, and I'm looking forward to racing out the rest of the year with the way that we've had our start.
Does it feel like, as we kind of go into the second half, that anybody has really stood out or separated themselves as far as who's going to be the contenders?
No, I mean, honestly, last year, the 22 won the championship. It came out of nowhere. I mean, they were terrible through the summer and kind of looks the same right now. So anything can happen, but that's why it's hard for me to answer that question. Like, are you a championship caliber team? Well, yeah, but I think there's probably 12 others. You know what I mean? So it's a lot more unknown with the next gen car and how you go to these racetracks and with just how sporadic finishes can be and people running into each other, and you think somebody's going to go out and win a race and they get wrecked, and then somebody else does that's a surprise winner. So you never know. Like, you just got to play it out.
All right, Claire.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. I get a feel for what people think about you when I'm on the air, and you say Kyle Busch, and the phone line's always lit up. But now, when I was on the air last night, everybody loving Kyle Busch. And I had a teacher who said she was a Chase Elliott fan, but every single one of her students in class were Kyle Busch fans.
She must have been passing out M&Ms.
I don't know. But I don't know if you're passing them out anymore. But anyhow, she said they battle it out every day. My question is, you handled the role so well of the Black Hat. I don't know if it came natural, but you played, you got into it, and it was hard, I'm sure, at first. How are you handling this, and is there some momentum that goes with that? I'm certainly winning, gives you that. How are you feeling about that?
I mean, yeah, I think it goes in waves, right? Like, when you come in, you might be a brash young punk that doesn't really set well with the fan base, the masses, the not older, but more experienced traditional drivers and their fans.
Look straight at me when he said older.
I did too.
Straight at me when he said older.
Yeah, but as you kind of get comfortable, people understand you, learn you, things like that. I think people would obviously say Samantha, Brexton, Lennox. The families kind of softened me a little bit and whatnot. But I think just me being younger and pushing so hard for a lot of pressure that's put on you, expectations that's put on you. Coach always said, this is a performance-based business. You got to perform. And so, to me, that pressure is always instilled in you. And when you have those bad days, I'm not great at covering it, right? Like, what you see is what you get. So I think just going over time and getting a better understanding of some of that, and also Brexton, trying to teach him that, yes, winning means a lot, and winning does do a lot of great things. It's not everything, right? So we've been trying to instill that in him to be a more gracious loser, if you will, and have some friends at the racetrack. And so it's just nice to kind of see what I've always known, right? What are we on, Kyle 14.0 by now? I'm not sure. I don't know what number we're on, but we're checking them off.
And can you still play with the race fans a little bit? You still plan to, have a little fun with that?
Yeah, when you can, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's circumstantial. It just kind of depends on what happens. I poked fun at myself there at Charlotte when I made a mistake and spun out, on doing that social video that we did, and so that was really good. Things like that kind of come about. You don't get those moments every single weekend, so when you get them, you better take them and you make the most of them. So that one was pretty fun, and that just the fans enjoy that stuff and eat it up. And right now they're eating up this Cheddar's driver.
All right. I know we're not going to get to everyone's question, so I apologize, but we have to let Kyle go. He has practice coming up.
Yep.
And to Kyle Petty as well, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. And I think out in the lobby there's cheddar, butter croissants for everybody, so grab some, okay?
Yes.
Please. Thank you, Cheddars.
Their croissants are ready.